Hello, my name is Elena Herrera, and I'm going to be presenting my persuasive essay on why ending homelessness cannot wait. So, what if overnight everything you depended on, like your home, your job, or your sense of security, just vanished? For over 500,000 people in the United States, this isn't a hypothetical question, it's their daily reality. The National Alliance to End Homelessness is a powerful force in the fight to prevent and end homelessness. By supporting this organization, whether through donations, volunteering, or advocating for affordable housing, we can help bring stability, safety, and hope to those who need it most. Everyone has a role to play in solving homelessness, and by supporting the National Alliance to End Homelessness through donations, advocacy, and community action, individuals can help create lasting change for millions of vulnerable people across the United States. Whether it's someone in our community or a stranger in another city, homelessness is something that touches all of us in different ways. By learning more about this issue today, you'll see how your involvement can directly impact the lives of thousands and help build a stronger, more compassionate society. In this presentation, I'll first explain the urgent need for action to combat homelessness. Then I'll introduce to you the work of the National Alliance to End Homelessness and how they're tackling this issue. And lastly, I'll show you the powerful change we can create if we all step in to help and the consequences of inaction. So first, homelessness is a growing issue in our society with over 600,000 individuals across the United States experiencing it on any given night. This is a real crisis that affects real families, veterans, young people, and the elderly. This data is shown in the article, What is Homelessness and Why is it an Issue, with an increased amount of homeless individuals today. For many, the challenges of finding stable housing, mental health support, and employment are too much to overcome, but it doesn't have to be this way. This is shown within the National Alliance to End Homelessness article on What is Homelessness, as they mention the issue that continues to progress around us. The need for immediate and long-term solutions to end homelessness is urgent, and it's something that requires all of us to take action. Without intervention, more people will be forced into the streets, and we will face an even greater public health and social crisis. Now, the Social Alliance to End Homelessness is working tirelessly to change the course of this crisis through advocacy, research, and local partnerships. They're creating effective solutions to address homelessness at both the individual and systemic levels. They focus on affordable housing, employment programs, mental health support, and other long-term strategies. By supporting their efforts, you can directly contribute to providing people with not just shelter, but the opportunity for a new life. The article titled Shelter Funding for Homeless Individuals and Families Brings Trade-Offs highlights how shelters and other services are the last resort for many, but have a huge impact. Specifically, it states these programs provide beds and services as they act as a last resort for many of the most impoverished individuals and families in the U.S., which emphasizes how this program doesn't have an easy task without our help. One of the most direct and effective ways to support the National Alliance to End Homelessness is through financial donations, and this program works with lawmakers to promote legislation that supports affordable housing, healthcare, and emergency assistance. So, individuals can get involved by contacting the representatives, signing petitions, and sharing educational resources on social media. These contributions specifically fund research, policy development, and programs that address both immediate and long-term solutions. From policy changes to grassroots initiatives, the National Alliance is creating a future where homelessness is no longer the definition for the lives of thousands of Americans. Now, imagine a future where no one has to sleep on the streets, where families can stay together, and where individuals can have the resources they need to rebuild their lives. This future is possible if we all contribute. However, if we don't contribute and look away, turn a blind eye, the issue will only grow. More children will grow up without stable homes, more veterans will face the trauma of living without support, and the cycle of homelessness will continue to affect more and more communities. But with your help, we can create the change that's so desperately needed. Supporting the National Alliance to End Homelessness is a good thing because it helps create real, lasting solutions for people experiencing all the effects of homelessness. And this advice is prevalent in the charity's article titled State of Homelessness, which mentions how serious action is the only way in combating this issue. By supporting them, you're not just giving temporarily help, you're investing in long-term change that can transform lives and strengthen communities. Overall, the National Alliance to End Homelessness provides critical leadership, but the involvement of everyday people through donations, advocacy, and community action is what truly drives the change. We've seen how widespread and deeply rooted this issue is, and how the National Alliance to End Homelessness works strategically and effectively to address it through the research, advocacy, and community support that is done. And ending homelessness is not just a policy change, it's also a moral one, and it requires all of us to step up. So whether you choose to donate, volunteer your time, or support local initiatives that advocate for affordable housing, your contribution matters. And by supporting the National Alliance to End Homelessness, you become a part of a movement that is changing lives, restoring hope, and building a future where no one is left without a place to call home. Thank you.